Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Fox Sports 1 analyst and Pittsburgh Steelers fan Joy Taylor isn't happy about Aaron Rodgers skipping the first week of the team's OTAs. Earlier this week, she ripped Rodgers for missing out on an important time to get acclimated to his new surroundings should he sign with Pittsburgh and play in 2025. Mandatory or not, where's your pride, she said on FS1 Speak. Where's your dignity? Where's your respect for the game? Where's your respect for the organization? Rodgers has hinted he'll eventually sign with the Steelers, and Art Rooney too remains publicly confident it'll happen, as do media insiders who believe it's inevitable. But he's yet to formally sign his contract or offer a timeline for when he'll officially decide his future. Neither side has seemed to set a deadline, meaning there's a chance the saga drags into late July. For a 41-year-old veteran like Rodgers, showing up for a handful of light workouts might not be beneficial. But Taylor believes it's just as important for everyone else to get to know him before training camp begins. He's never played there before, she said. He doesn't know any of his teammates. He doesn't know the streets to get to the facility. He doesn't know the doctors. He doesn't know the rehab crew. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know where to get his smoothies. Nothing. Why would you not be there? Teammates and doctors might be more important than his smoothie selections, but Taylor's point is fair. The spring serves as a chance to lay the foundation for himself and the rest of the offense. The Steelers have a young and new group, and the more time they spend with their starting quarterback, the better off they'll become September. Taylor believes Rodgers doesn't have the clout to skip out on sessions even if they're voluntary and he's not under contract. You won 5 games last year. The year before that you tore your Achilles. The year before that you missed the playoffs, she said. Rodgers last made the postseason in 2021, making the NFC Championship game with the Green Bay Packers. The year after, his final one with Green Bay, the Packers slumped to an 8-9 finish. Traded to the New York Jets for the 2023 season, Rodgers tore his Achilles 4 days into the regular season. Last year, the Jets won 5 games in a year of chaos. Pittsburgh hasn't had an issue making the playoffs. But winning in the postseason is another story. For Taylor, Rodgers missing spring workouts doesn't help his or the team's cause of breaking those droughts. Nor does it help Rodgers to find the best spot for a mango banana smoothie. DeMarvin Leal is facing enormous pressure entering the final year of his contract, trying everything he can to stick around. Always something of a tweener in terms of physique, during OTAs, the Steelers have him working at outside linebacker. This isn't the first time he has repped or even played there, but this is a most concerted effort. While that doesn't mean that would be his new full-time position, the Steelers are trying to enable him. They want to give Leal every opportunity, not just to excel, but to simply make the team. Right now, they would appear to have a full defensive line room and an outside linebacker room. But did the Steelers get more, or less, than they bargained for when they drafted DeMarvin Leal in 2022? One wonders. A third-round pick, DeMarvin Leal played 3 seasons at Texas A&M. In 34 games, he recorded 132 tackles with 13 sacks and an interception. He had a bit of a breakout season in 2021 with 8.5 sacks, which likely prompted him to declare early. Leal spent his entire Aggies career under Jimbo Fisher as head coach. They had an inconsistent 3-year run, though did win the Orange Bowl in 2020. Fisher didn't last too much longer, fired after the 2023 season. In the aftermath, his coaching staff faced heavy criticism. There was 100% a lack of discipline, a lack of accountability. An ESPN article quotes one former Aggies player as saying, "Maybe DeMarvin Leal just wanted to get away from Jimbo Fisher." With that said, I don't know that the positional coaching was the issue. His position coach was Elijah Robinson, who seems respected well enough. He also coached Namdi Madubike on the same line, and it generally wasn't the defensive line that was the issue. According to the post-mortem, the problem with the Jimbo Fisher era at Texas A&M was that everything had to be his way. He was a domineering presence over his coaching staff and perhaps didn't let his coaches fully coach. While Leal improved over the course of his college career, perhaps he didn't receive the coaching that worked for him. Still, you can only make excuses for so long, and DeMarvin Leal has had NFL coaching for 3 years. But is the Steelers' Carl Dunbar up to the task? Has he sufficiently developed players since they brought him in? I think we can debate that, even with Keanu Benton, going into his 3rd season. The Steelers did keep feeding his unit this offseason, drafting Derek Harmon and Yahya Black. Ironically, it may be the 2 rookies who knock Leal off the roster altogether. The Pittsburgh Steelers are no strangers to bold decisions, but this offseason has left many scratching their heads. After a frustrating 2024 campaign, the front office made a flurry of moves, some expected, others more puzzling. They parted ways with both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, who now find themselves competing in New York. Even more shocking, their top receiver, George Pickens, was shipped off to the Dallas Cowboys, leaving a gaping hole in Arthur Smith's already thin offensive unit. So, what now? As OTAs continue in Pittsburgh, one thing is clear: the Steelers are still in search of a legitimate secondary receiving option. In true Steelers fashion, they're exploring an unorthodox path. One that's starting to make more and more sense. On Thursday, rumors surfaced linking the Steelers to veteran tight end Jonnu Smith, currently with the Miami Dolphins. I believe this could be the perfect low-cost, high-upside move Pittsburgh needs. Smith is no stranger to Arthur Smith's system, having previously thrived under him during their time in Tennessee. That familiarity matters, especially in a year where the offense will rely heavily on timing, play action, and efficient route combinations. Trading for Jonnu Smith is not a bad move for the Pittsburgh Steelers last season. Jonnu Smith didn't just produce, he broke records. He set the franchise mark for tight end receptions, 88, receiving yards, 884, and touchdowns, 8. Those aren't just serviceable numbers, that's legitimate WR2 production from a tight end. Bringing in Smith would immediately give Pittsburgh a savvy, athletic target who can line up anywhere on the field. Paired with Pat Freiermuth, the Steelers would have one of the most versatile tight end duos in the league. Something that fits perfectly in Arthur Smith's run-heavy, tight end-centric offense. For a young or developing quarterback, having 2 reliable, sure-handed tight ends is the kind of security blanket that keeps drives alive and builds confidence. And the best part? This won't cost a premium pick. Miami, with a crowded skill position group, may be open to moving Smith for mid to late round draft compensation, something the Steelers have plenty of. This isn't the conventional answer to losing a star wideout like Pickens, but production can come from many places. If Pittsburgh pulls the trigger, Jonnu Smith could quietly become one of the smartest moves of the offseason, and a key piece in getting the Steelers back on track.